Another angle here. Imagine being threatened by this. So this is a reminder. 3 or 4 different stories about the trans moral panic. And I think it's just important to remember that this manufactured moral panic is something that can be turned upon any one of us. It's a wonderful day in the homiehood, a wonderful day for a homie. Won't you be my homie to Taro? Men are so afraid of being attracted to anyone, not a true woman. I know. Wow. Yeah, there's all of this outrage happening right now against like butch women as well, because everyone's like, I think I just saw this about Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe's partner, who of which they're now having a baby, is like masculine looking. Let's take a look here. I just can't believe how much outrage is being manufactured over this. I don't know. Let's take a look. Not even a day after saying they want to ban trans women from the toilets, they've decided Daniel Radcliffe's pregnant wife is a trans woman. How can she be a trans woman if she's pregnant? If she was a trans woman, she wouldn't have a uterus, most likely. No one is safe from these fucking stupid and evil people. What happens when they decide you/your wife is a man? Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, if they can just do this to anyone, whether you're trans or not, they will just launch a campaign against you, right? Daniel Radcliffe, trans. Let's see. TERFs are dragging Daniel Radcliffe's girlfriend for being trans, even though she is currently pregnant. I know. I mean, I don't know what cis women think is going to happen if this continues, but nothing good. Right. And yeah, that's like the thing about this moral panic, right? Is that like once they do it for one group of people, they can turn it upon anyone. Oh yeah, this is the picture that people are losing their mind about. This is Daniel Radcliffe's Harry Potter girlfriend. Now, what do you see? Honestly, it's because what? She's taller than him? Unreal. People are actually losing their minds. So this is Suzanne Sedon, which if you look close, you know, like the nose is actually quite the same, I think. If they simply did their eyebrows differently and their hair differently and their lipstick was a shade brighter, they might look very similar. Imagine like persecuting someone who looks almost exactly like yourself and has the same racial and sexual identity as you, and like going after them. It's like, what do you think you're doing? You're literally like painting a target on the back of your head, on the back of your own head. Now, I mean, for people who are obsessed about this, they actually know very little about it. And if you are a trans woman, chances are you probably don't have a uterus and therefore cannot give birth. However, our leading and most woke scientists are working on a cure so that everyone, especially you listening to this, can be retrofitted with a uterus if you so desire. We have the top woke scientists on the world working on this right now. But the point is that once you've created this moral panic as conservatives and Republicans and the far right and the COVID deniers and really everyone like everyone right of liberal seems to be jumping on this. You know, that moral panic can be turned on to anyone as soon as one of these groups becomes vulnerable. You know, and we will see that. It will go from trans panic to gay panic to lesbian panic, and to also, this is related to a panic that women should not be able to access important medical procedures such as abortion. In Florida, they have passed something now, or it's about to pass, and it's very likely that it will pass, that you cannot receive an abortion after 6 weeks. Now, my understanding is that you might not even know if you're pregnant until around 6 weeks, and that obviously is not fair. It does not give women enough time to make that choice for themselves. So Nikki Fried or Fried, I'm not sure, but she do be frying these conservatives out there. Um, was arrested alongside another Congress person. Or here, let's see. The Florida Democratic Party chairperson, Nikki Fried, and Senate Minority Leader Lauren Book were arrested during abortion riot protests on, why are they called riots? And abortion riots. Oh, I think they meant abortion rights. Yes, Yahoo News doing the typo here. During an abortion rights protest on a misdemeanor charge of trespassing on property after warning. I wonder if they did this for the SEO. That is kind of sus, I'm not going to lie. Leading Florida Dems get arrested for abortion protest. And so obviously we took a look at this. Women protesting for their rights getting arrested at the behest of Florida police. This is Ron DeSantis's. Ron DeSanctimonious. This is his Florida. Okay, so shocking imagery here. Just to see women being put in handcuffs for trying to fight for their own rights to access what should be a fundamental part of any healthcare system. I just heard a story. It was a friend of a friend. They were, I believe they were like 6 months pregnant or something. 6 or 7 months pregnant, and they went on a trip to Florida. This is a Canadian family went on a trip to Florida, and for some reason their water broke. Their water broke early, and they were like, "Oh my goodness! Like, what's happening? It's way too early." They went to the hospital to get checked out, and the nurse was unable to perform. It's not even called an abortion. I forget what it's called. They were unable to remove the fetus from the mother. The husband, of course, was panicking. It was getting to a point where his partner was about to die, and the nurse could not do anything about it. The doctor could not do anything about it. He was basically screaming at the nurse and the doctor, being like, "You have to save my partner's life." And they said, "I'm sorry. I know we've lost patients like this before. If we were to perform that necessary procedure to save your wife's life, they could get tried for murder." This is insanity. Luckily, it got to a point. I guess it needs to get past a certain threshold where the woman's life is so much in danger that they can perform the procedure. Right? So in this case, they actually got lucky and saved this woman's life, even though that should have been their first reaction. And this is a cautionary tale that if you are a Canadian, even if you feel as though you're not about to give birth, if you're pregnant, you should not go to Florida. You should not go to any of these red states that have made this illegal. Yeah, women are dying, and that's murder by the state, essentially. Yeah, exactly. A DNC, dilation and curettage. Yeah, I think that was it, Purple Mavis. Thank you so much. So happy that we have women in chat to educate my male ass. And it's a cautionary tale. Like, don't go to these places. Like, your health as a woman is in danger. I would say don't go to these places at all, because they don't care about the rights of your loved ones. Like, don't support them. Don't support their tourism industry. This whole snowbird Canadian business, honestly, it needs to stop. Like find somewhere else to go. Forget Florida. Florida is done to me. Florida is like being boycotted harder than conservatives boycotting Bud Light. Okay? So, the story here, there's really not much to say that these pictures don't already say. They're there to protect a woman's right to choose. And yeah, this is 6-week abortion ban okayed by Florida Senate after interrupted debate. This is expected to pass in the in the House. Legislation restricting abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy was approved in the Senate on Monday. It still must pass out of the House, but it is expected to do so. This person is saying their shirt, just effing vote. Yeah, I mean, I think this is an issue. Like, you need to vote out these ghouls. You cannot make this an issue that is up for debate. This should not be up for debate, you know?
Alright guys, it's after 1. You are trespassing after warning. This is your final warning. You will be subject to...
Oh, big man police officer coming over to these women singing in a circle and telling them that they're violating some bylaw or another. Big strong men.
You are subject to arrest and not leave until
Imagine supporting this. This is so pathetic. There's more cops than women at this protest.
This is a peaceful protest.
We were permitted to be here.
And they had a permit? Is that what they're saying? They were permitted to be here? This is so gross. This is fascism in action. The crazy part too is that, like, this is not an issue that you will win in the long run, because even a diehard Republican is going to have an anecdotal story eventually about how their sister died because they were not given life-saving medical care, or that their cousin died, or that their daughter was put in a life-threatening situation because of these stupid laws. Right? Like, that's the thing. You're over time, you're not going to win on this issue. But there will be a lot of innocent casualties in the fight. Yeah. Gross. So, yeah. Another angle here.
You are subject to arrest and not leave until final warning.
Imagine being threatened by this. Yeah, I wonder how much that cost the country municipality. I guess it must be a calculated cost. I guess they figure that if women have rights, that'll somehow cost the municipality even more. So this is a reminder. You know, we've talked about 3 different stories, or 3 or 4 different stories about the trans moral panic. And I think it's just important to remember that this manufactured moral panic is something that can be turned upon any one of us. Right? If you're not a cisgendered white man, then you are essentially at risk of going down this slippery slope, right? And it starts right now. It's all people can talk about is trans folks. But it wasn't too long ago when it was gay and lesbian folks fighting for their rights, or black people fighting for their rights, or women fighting for their rights, or Asian people like myself fighting for their rights, or indigenous folks fighting for their rights. You know, it's like literally, if you don't fit into that hegemonic mold of being a cisgendered white man, then they might be coming for you next. So it's important to stand up. Why not make sure you don't miss the next video by liking, commenting, subscribing, and ringing the bell? Thank you so much for watching. It's my homie, too, Taro. Peace.